Welcome to Kellyanne Cares, a one-of-a-kind show created to motivate, stimulate, educate, and inspire you, personally and professionally. Hi, I'm Kelly. I'm an entrepreneur, patient advocate, content creator, and author. You may know me from the Everything is Messy book, brand, and podcast. But what you may not know is how hard I had to work to get me to where I am today. Mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. And in this season, I'm more driven and extremely passionate about my purpose to help you save the time, money, and energy it takes to be happier and get healthier with your mind, body, business, and life. Tune in every week to hear raw, unfiltered conversations from myself and my incredible guests as we discuss trending topics, share stories of resilience, and chat about all things health, wealth, healing, and wellness. Whether you're here to listen, learn, or laugh, I promise to bring awareness and add more value to your day. Take this time to relax and recharge. Listen, life is short. Invest in yourself. Be loud, be different, be you, and most importantly, enjoy the ride. Buckle up because today's podcast experience starts now. One more thing, sharing is caring. I would love your thoughts on today's episode. Head on over to Apple Podcasts to rate, review, and subscribe. I would truly appreciate it. Want to continue the conversation? Let's connect online. You can find me at kellyannegorman.com and all my social links are in the show notes. Now let's get into today's show. Hello. Welcome back to a brand new little mini episode. Today is all about LinkedIn. I'm staring at my LinkedIn profile and I'm going to go through the whole entire thing and share with you all my little tips and tricks that I do in business and networking and all things podcasting each and every day while I utilize this platform. Now, a little backstory. I've been on LinkedIn since 2012. I originally used it when I was in private aviation, and I used it as kind of my Rolodex. I would have the owners of their planes on it, their pilots, their crew, charter brokers, all things private aviation. It was literally my Rolodex. I didn't even have my resume on there. I just used it to keep in touch with everybody. Then I got access to write on LinkedIn with the published post feature, I think in 2014, maybe 2015. Anyway, long story short, I've landed the biggest deals of my career through Messenger on LinkedIn. I've networked my behind off. I have researched everything on LinkedIn, and it's really one of my favorite tools in my business that I use each and every day, especially when it comes to repurposing my podcast. So let's just rewind a little bit. I sound a little off, and that's because I have a sinus infection and I had to come on here and record. I'm already a couple of days late with this episode, which drives me nuts, but that's life. And I went from having bronchitis to strained vocal cords for like almost a month to having a nice little 2-week vacation of not being sick to all of a sudden having a sinus infection and an awful cold, like literally out of nowhere. I have been juicing. I've been eating the rainbow. I've been sweating in the sauna. I've been walking the beach every day, and something just got me. So I'm here with my Puffs Plus with Vicks lotion tissue. They're not a sponsor, but they should be because the amount of money I've spent on tissues this week is absurd. Anyway, the whole purpose of this week and these mini episodes was because I wanted to do short and sweet shows for you to really jam-pack your notebooks and your brain and your business with a ton of tips and tricks that I use in my own business and podcasting and LinkedIn life so that you can elevate your own. I'm just here sharing what works best for me so that you could take it and make it your own and, learn some tricks of the trade. So let's just dive in. So I am staring at my LinkedIn profile. I'm going to start from the top and work my way through the bottom. Now, what's best for this episode is if you go grab a notebook and your favorite little pen and you take notes. Or you could just do it while you're listening and go on to your profile. But notes are always good. If you're driving, maybe don't write anything down. Pay attention to the roads and then come back. But I just wanted to share what's worked best for me using LinkedIn, because on TikTok, everybody's talking about LinkedIn now. I'm like, I've been on LinkedIn since 2012. So should everybody else. Like, it's such a powerhouse tool and a whole new audience that you need for your podcast and your business and your brand. So let's just get started. First off, you're going to see a banner photo. That needs to be the company that you work for, or something that you're currently promoting, something that's going to drag the eyeballs to your page and be like, oh, what is that? I want to learn more from this person. An updated profile headshot always works. I always like verbiage on my graphics. If you haven't noticed, it's usually there. As far as your bio, when you update that, it updates your network. So I'm going to share some of my favorite strategies when it comes to that as well. But right now, mine says host of the Kelly and Cares podcast, author of Everything is Messy. I develop podcasts, drink iced coffee, and create healthy recipes. Obsessed with all things productivity and organization. It does not say CEO of KAG Enterprises. I like to add my personality so that you know I'm human, and you get a little bit more of like a gist of like who I am and what I do, and then I do actually have a personality. So that's what I like to have there, but you can make it your own, like I said earlier. And then now, if you're a creator on LinkedIn, you could talk about all kinds of things, but utilize the hashtags that they have. So I change mine every now and then, just like the hashtags that I use when I post all the time. So if you look at my profile, it says I talk about hashtag mindset, podcasting, business tips, mental health, and entrepreneurship. Those are the things I talk about the most. It does say on the right, KAG Enterprises. That is the name of my corporation. Scrolling down. You want to make sure that creator mode is on if you want to utilize that. And also make sure that your profile is public to really get the best traction. There's now a new feature called Featured, where you can, let me just hit the little plus sign, add a post, a newsletter, an article, a link, and media. So anything that you've been featured in, anything you want people's eyeballs to go to first, this is where I leave my LinkedIn newsletter posts. They're all here under the featured area because I want the eyes to gravitate towards what's current, what I'm currently talking about. And usually that's where I repost my podcast episodes as well. Again, I'm so sorry for my voice. Under the activity, that is literally everything that you've done. If you've liked, if you loved, if you commented, if you've pushed out your own content, your own newsletters, published posts, anything, that will show under activity, okay? In the about section, that is your short little bio. You don't need to write a huge, they do cap it at a certain amount. I think it's like 1,200, don't quote me, but they do cap the amount of space that you do have in the about section. I have a shorter version of my full bio there. And in the about section, you always want to have a call to action. So I'm redirecting you to my website to read my full bio, but also to my TikTok, my Instagram, or anywhere else that I want you to go find me there. I think I might even have my link tree. I think I might even have my email. Let me actually just double check because I'm literally looking at it. No, I have my websites, my Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, and where you can find my full bio. So a call to action is always, always important. Now, you want to be creative here on LinkedIn. It's not a resume platform. Let me say that again. It is not a resume platform. You can upload your resume. That's great. But you want to use it to the best of your ability. I do a lot of different things on my platform that not a lot of people do. I've seen some people copy them, so that's nice. But I am really creative, especially in the experience section, and strategic, very strategic, which again, I will share with you shortly. So under the experience, this is where you want to make sure that you are tagging the companies that you work for. That is the only way that you're going to see the logo of the company on LinkedIn, is where you tag them in your experience. So obviously, I'm self-employed, so I need to have company pages set up. If you have any questions about company pages, shoot me a message on LinkedIn. Now, I also want to say that if you're confused already about what I'm talking about, get on LinkedIn and look at my profile while you're listening to this episode, because this is the best way for you to mimic what I have and make it your own, and also get a visual while I'm talking about it. So under my experience, I have a lot of different things under each. I use each position as a placeholder for each program that I sell, each product I sell, each service I sell. That's just the way that I like it. I have the company tags so that you see myself in the little bubble. I have a full description on what it is. I always have media listed. Sometimes with certain podcast platforms or YouTube or certain other links, it doesn't upload the best photo. So then I upload a better quality photo, and then in the description of that, write out where you can go for more information, or just write like a little tidbit of like information for the person that's searching that. But you could see KAG Enterprises, you could see my podcast where I'm a host, writer, producer, and then you could see all of the other shows and programs and everything I've pushed out. All my Leverage Your LinkedIn coaching classes are there. Everything is Messy collection is there. I actually have every single one of my coaching programs listed, like I said, as an experience purposely, because I want you to go through it and see. So that's a really good creative way to push out your content, because when you update anything, it's going to ask, do you want to notify the network? Hell yeah, you want to notify your network. So make sure you're being really strategic when it comes to updating anything. And I'm going to get into that shortly. So that's the experience section. Mine is ridiculous. It's so long. Next up, we have the education. That is obviously where you would add where you went to school. I went to Johnson Wales as well as Rhode Island School of Design. The skills, I wish that I had a lot more of what I'm currently doing there, but a lot of it is still like events and private aviation and customer service. So, and that goes through recommendations too. And everybody can see these. Recommendations are great. You could see the latest I've received are actually from a LinkedIn sales training I did for a skincare brand. So I'm really proud of those. So you could check those out. You could see all the ones that are pending when you're in your own personal profile, but getting the endorsements, I think I have 50 different skills on here. I mean, I definitely don't have like a normal career. I've done so many things, but you could just like go through them. Like I have spa, corporate events, luxury goods, food and beverage, weddings, PR, cosmetics. Like these are so old. I wish that I had like a magic wand to like just put all things podcasting there. That's one thing I really hope that LinkedIn upgrades shortly is more podcasting. I only have like 20, 22, 26. Yeah, that's not a lot. But anyway, I wish that LinkedIn, hopefully soon they will, because they're rolling out so many new programs where they are doing more things having to do with podcasting, like actually being able to tag that stuff. So the next section of the LinkedIn profile is where you have publications. So this is where I link up some press that I've been included in. And you can also add these to your featured area up top as well. And this is great for your podcast if you want to promote on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, Amazon, if you have a YouTube channel. You could definitely put like your TikTok or anything else. It's really up to you. But the publications is definitely where you've been featured. I definitely need to update that actually now that I'm looking at it. And honor and awards is next. Interest. So when you like companies, it's visible. Just FYI. So I always use this reference. So say you're going for a job with Pepsi and you're constantly liking Coca-Cola's content. Pepsi's going to be like, what the hell? Like they can see that. Just an FYI. So that brings us down to the bottom, and then it shows the interests under influencers, companies, groups, and schools. Now, why do you want to be on LinkedIn? I'm going to give you a few reasons. One, because you're not utilizing it in the first place, and you want to start networking as soon as your profile is updated. Don't do it beforehand. It's a whole new audience, and this is the best platform, especially if you're a content creator, to get on to pitch brands. I've talked about, here's another reference. So example rather, when I was running my luxury travel concierge business in Las Vegas, I was creating these super high-end experiences that no one else could get their hands on. And my clients would land on their private jet. I would do a meet and greet, bring them to the property in the limo, and they would have these like ridiculous high-end events to experience. And I created them. None of this existed. The only way that I got that done was with LinkedIn. I would literally use the search bar. This is going to be your best friend. The search bar on LinkedIn is your best friend. You type in Chef Concierge Bellagio. they pop up. You type in PR team, MGM, they pop up. Whatever, I am constantly trying to pitch myself to this one network, and I'm searching for every human that can get me in a door, and I'm typing all of their network name in there, and I'm searching for all their PR people, their HR people, like anybody in any department that I can get connected with to get me in the door. That is how I'm finding them with the search tool. You can also put hashtag mindset and see how many people are following that hashtag. It's very important to do your research before you dive in on LinkedIn. I do my research with anything and everything. And every now and then I switch up my hashtags if they're not working and if I'm not getting the traction and the eyeballs on my page that I would like for something that I'm promoting. I usually use around 10, and most of this stuff that you see is automated. So I'm constantly changing them to see, what works the best, but it's always in the same genre. So when it comes to being strategic, when you want a lot of people to come to your page right before you launch or right before or the day you launch something exciting, that is the day that you turn on the notifications to let your whole network know. For example, I launched my podcast on my birthday. Every June 10th, I launch something super exciting on my birthday because one, it notifies my LinkedIn network. I'm almost at like 4,000 followers, I think, that it's my birthday. So what are you going to do? Wish me a happy birthday. What am I going to do? I'm going to copy and paste, but of course, put your name, the message that I have strategically created for you in my notes section on my phone, copy paste with your name. Thank you so much for my birthday wishes. To celebrate, I'm doing XYZ. Call to action at the end, drive traffic to where they need to go. Boom, you have a sale. I've been doing this for years. Something else that will give you a little boost in the algorithm is voice messaging. I also like to do that when people send me a mile-long sales pitch so that they know that I'm a human. I don't appreciate their sales tactic, but also I am open for you to connect with me. Come follow me on my latest LinkedIn newsletter. Like, it's a two-way street, you know what I'm saying? So you always want to have something created, very professional, short and sweet. In the notes section of your phone, you copy and you paste. As soon as you're getting all of those messages flooding your inbox, celebrating like your birthday or an anniversary with the job or one of my coaching positions, this is why I have them strategically placed as a job. All of my programs, products, and services are listed as a job because in a year from the day that I upload that, it's going to anniversary. People will say, congrats on the job. And then I will say, thank you so much. It's on sale today. Driving traffic to my site to sell the programs, products, and services that I have to offer. If I'm going too fast, just let me know. You can always slide into my inbox on LinkedIn and hit me up and ask me some questions. But I do have one-on-one coaching calls. I do have a LinkedIn training called Leverage Your LinkedIn Today. And then I do have one for corporations called Leverage Your LinkedIn Pro. And that is the one that I just finished training. Actually, I feel like it was a couple months ago. To a skincare brand, and I've worked with them a couple times. And when you are in sales and you are on LinkedIn, you really need to know how the lingo works and what you can do to make your sales and your numbers like really hit home and you be the go-to person that everybody wants to talk to and do business with on LinkedIn. You have to just literally use my LinkedIn profile and replicate it, like mimic it rather, to replicate it, mimic it, and make it your own. Like use it as a reference. This is what I always preach when I do my LinkedIn sales trainings, because you sometimes need a visual. I have a ton of LinkedIn trainings on my TikTok, but they're so short. Like it's not enough time, So if you want a one-on-one and you want to pick my brain, like let's do a coaching call. If you want to do something on your own time, but then still have questions for me, then Leverage Your LinkedIn Today is definitely more of like a DIY situation at your own time. But I talk fast. So in an hour, we can bang some serious shit out and get you visible on LinkedIn Today. If you have a whole sales team or you're building a sales team, you're part of a brand, a corporation, like there is a whole Zoom situation involved, then Leverage Your LinkedIn Pro is exactly what you're going to need. So I can dissect your business, your brand, and tell you exactly what you need to be doing starting now to build more brand awareness and get more money into your accounts. So those are some of my recommendations when it comes to strategy. Definitely the voice messaging. I can't keep up with the amount of messages I get on LinkedIn. So I'll take like a Friday or Thursday, whatever day, and I have like a pocket of time, and I literally sit there and I voice message everybody back. Voice. And it's nice to hear a human, right? Like sending me a mile long sales pitch, like I'm not down with that. But if you sent me like a video or a voice message, I can hear you and know that you're real. And like maybe I do want to do business with you after you sent me that mile long sales pitch. A lot of people are using a lot of LinkedIn sales tools. That's great. But it's obnoxious, to be dead honest with you. I hate getting them. And I won't even answer you half the time and then I'll get the follow-up that's another mile long. And then the other day, somebody was copying and pasting a sales pitch to me, but the podcast name was wrong. And then they kept deleting it. And I was like, oh, LinkedIn has a new feature. It was showing me what he sent me with the wrong podcast name. And then it showed me that he deleted it. And then he did it again, wrong podcast name, then deleted it. And then finally, by the third time, he put Kellyanne Cares podcast. I'm like, do you even like do any research or like give a shit about the sales that you're doing or like people or I don't know. Like I just would never do business with that type of person. And now they're sliding into my inbox. So they took my email from LinkedIn and now they're blowing up my Microsoft email. Like that's so unprofessional. Don't be that person. I'm telling you how to use strategy and sales and specific techniques, but also use your fucking personality. Like be real. Like my profile says right here, like I love iced coffee. I love creating healthy recipes. Like I don't have my book there right now as my banner. So you're like, oh, what is she creating? Oh, she has a book where she wrote recipes. Like I want you to be curious. Right now, I want all traffic going to my podcast. So that's why the banner's there. When I update that, it updates you if we're a connection. So I'm strategically doing it when I have new episodes that just went out. So you start to binge them now. I get more downloads. And then at the end of the day, more money in my bank account because that is the whole purpose of utilizing LinkedIn for sales, right? Constantly driving traffic, multiple calls to actions, but being yourself. Like use your personality. Utilize that voice messaging system. I love it. That's probably one of my favorites, except for, well, besides my LinkedIn newsletter. So the newsletter is all about, it's kind of like a piggyback. It's the podcast and the newsletter. Everything is for your mind, body, business, and life. And I really create content to motivate, stimulate, educate, and inspire you. Like that's what I enjoy talking about. That's what I want to help you in your life, all aspects of life. So right now, that is why that is my banner, because I want to constantly be promoting this show. So I'm looking at my notes really quickly. I just want to make sure everything is here. I always have a page of notes when I'm talking to you, but sometimes I just, obviously, if you've been here for a while, go off on a tangent, but I think I just got everything situated. I will share one of my favorite tools that I speak about all the time. It's called IFTTT. If you go to ifttt.com, it stands for if this then that. That's how I am automating all of my episodes, my posts, everything you see on LinkedIn. Most of the time it's coming from there. So definitely download that app. What you want to do when you do set it up though is set it up on the website and then put the app on your phone because it will trigger an alert and you'll get notified if something didn't get pushed out properly. But that's where I'm constantly updating my hashtags so that when I have something posted to LinkedIn that the hashtags are appropriate and they all make sense. So what else? Oh my God, I think that's it. So if we're not connected on LinkedIn, I would love for you to connect with me so you could literally see what I just went over. I hope that this helped. And if you need any one-on-one coaching, if you need coaching for your business, you have a larger corporation, a brand, you literally just want to pick my brain, you want to do something on your own, maybe you just need a complete overhaul of your LinkedIn, you know where to find me. I will link my LinkedIn profile in the show notes, and I would love to help you out. This is one of my favorite things to do. Like I said, I've been doing this for years and I have so many more strategies and techniques up my sleeve that have worked so well for me in the past, but there's just so much more coming onto LinkedIn. You know, they're definitely trying, like Twitter and TikTok, and everybody had stories. Stories didn't work out on LinkedIn, so they got rid of it pretty quickly. Live, I don't utilize because I'm more on TikTok. and Spotify Live now. So I don't utilize that, but if you are a video person, you are definitely going to want to jump on that train. And just please make sure that you're just being human and professional and using your personality when it comes to networking, because you don't want to be like a robot. You don't want to have your resume on LinkedIn. You know, like, you want to do business with real people, right? You want to work for a company that really gets who you are. And when you have your profile put together in a specific way, they'll know that right away. You know what I mean? So even on my banner, it says learn more at kellyanngorman.com today. Like, always call to action. It's so important. And there's other ways you can track all of this and follow up with people. But I wanted to do a really quick podcast episode, a little mini episode, all about how you can update your LinkedIn profile. Again, if I spoke too fast, then you can actually slow me down. But I highly suggest you just hop on LinkedIn and look at my profile on one tab and then open yours on the other and kind of piggyback while you're listening back to the show. I think that will really, really help you out. But again, if you have any other questions, send me a message on LinkedIn, connect with me. I'd love to help you out. Until then, I will talk to you soon. Thanks so much for tuning in to Kellyanne Cares, a one-of-a-kind show created to motivate, stimulate, educate, and inspire you. And I hope that happened for you today. As I mentioned in the intro, I would love your feedback on today's episode. Head to Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or your favorite podcast app to leave a review for the show. I would truly appreciate it. For more information on myself, the show, my book, and the programs, products, and services I've created, visit kellyanngorman.com. While you're there, be sure to sign up for my weekly newsletter, join the podcast community, and check out the brands I'm currently loving. Let's continue today's conversation. You can connect with me on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at Kellyanne Gorman Official. All my other social handles will be available for you in the show notes. If you have a product, brand, story, or service you would like to share on the show, send me a message on kellyanngorman.com today. As always, thanks for listening, sharing, and reviewing. I wouldn't be here without you, and I'm so grateful I get to do what I love each and every day. Wishing you a happy, healthy, positive, and productive day, and I'll talk to you again soon.